After 9 days of competitive international action, the Overwatch EuroCup Fundraiser being run by Monkey Bubble has now concluded. 18 teams entered to try and claim the community-donated prize pool to assist them in funding their World Cup efforts. Some teams disappointed with their performances, whilst others put in pleasantly surprising displays themselves. But the heavy favourites in the end fell at the last hurdle, meaning that at the conclusion of it all, it was Team Iceland that took the crown, winning the Overwatch EuroCup Fundraiser. So in this video today, I want to look at their journey throughout this tournament, also paying attention to what else happened throughout the playoff bracket. Looking at their group before the EuroCup even began, Iceland looked firm favourites to take top spot, with the strongest squad on paper compared to their opponents, Portugal, Kuwait, Bulgaria and South Africa. Initially this prediction appeared to be correct as they started off brilliantly with back-to-back convincing victories over both Portugal and Kuwait. In these matches they showed that they've developed an early understanding of a new meta surrounding Sigma, with their Overwatch League player Finzi having an early impact on this hero, whilst at the same time it was Hafikul who stole most of the highlights as he dominated his opening two matches on Farah. A couple of days later, Iceland had little trouble brushing aside South Africa in their third match of the EuroCup, and this set them up with a final group stage match against the other side of the top of Group B, Bulgaria, to see who would take top spot. Despite Iceland being heavily favoured to win this matchup, Team Bulgaria was definitely not an opponent to be underestimated. They'd also convincingly defeated the other members of Group B with their DPS players of Vega, but especially Buck propelling their side to a surprising 3-0 record, and now had them in contention at the top of this group. Indeed, this series was incredibly close and aired back and forth, with neither side really able to pick up a firm streak of momentum. In the end it came down to a map 5, which just like the rest of this match, went right down to a wire, with the rounds tied an oasis and the point locked at 99 to 99%. However, in the chaos of the final team fight, it was Bulgaria who came out on top to win this match and top the group, but Iceland still looked really strong, and certainly could have come out on the winning side had they just turned the odd team fight around. Even with this loss that saw them finish second in Group B, because 16 of the 18 competing teams qualified for the playoff elimination bracket, Iceland still found themselves comfortably making it through, and actually locked up a relatively favourable matchup against Poland, who had averagely finished their group 2-2. This round of 16 was interesting, as there was arguably clear favourites in each match, with most of the stronger teams coming up against comparatively weaker ones. This resulted in a clean sweep of 3-0s in every single series, as Italy beat Portugal, Norway defeated Spain, Saudi Arabia picked up the win against Kuwait, Denmark marched through Switzerland, Iceland made quick work of Poland, Israel dominated Latvia, Bulgaria brushed aside Greece, and finally Germany beat out Romania. Whilst this was a little underwhelming, these sorts of results were kind of predictable, and overall at least it confirmed that the quarter-finals would be contested between the best teams from the group stage, who had been performing the best throughout the EuroCup. Iceland's win saw them face Team Israel in the quarter-finals, who was certainly the toughest side to date they'd have to face. They had taken the group stage by storm with some eye-catching wins over Germany and Norway, in what many described as a group of death. Once again, like when they faced Bulgaria, this contest went right down to the wire, and a fantastic 5-map affair. The difference, however, on this occasion was that the squad had grown and learnt lessons from their previous defeat, and this time round were able to get the job done, edging out the series and eliminating what looked like one of the strongest sides in the tournament, with some of the top performers in Alive on DPS and Knassen on Sigma. It was then almost a repeat situation in the semi-finals, as Iceland tackled a very impressive looking German side. But once again it was the Icelandic squad who just scraped through, with a gutsy display that once again went the distance of 5 maps. Aside from further strong performances from their veteran players of Hafikul, who did also occasionally flex onto other heroes like Reaper, Mei, Widow and Hanzo, as well as Finzi, which dictated a lot for team success. The other members also had major roles to play to help them make it through to the final of the EuroCup. Sintry on Doomfist came up with some key picks in crucial teamfights, but was also instrumental in creating space and isolating targets for Hafikul to have so much success and impact on his Farah primarily. Steel Dragons provided a solid foundation on Orisa, with his ultimate usage in particular finding a lot of value throughout the series. Then with Futark and Numi, they remained consistent and reliable throughout, with Futark positioning himself well to provide support to Hafikul up in the skies, whilst Numi kept his tanks well healed on the front lines, as well as having a good initiation from his coalescence when playing Moira. And that's not forgetting Snorlax, who did spend most of his time on the bench, but is a more than capable backup and talented DPS player who adds depth and security moving forward to help this team adapt to changes in the meta further down the line. Looking at the rest of the bracket that was advancing in the meantime, Germany had bested Bulgaria 3-1 in the quarterfinals in order to lock up their eventual loss to Iceland. Whilst on the other side, it was Denmark who predictably made the final. This had been after a much harder fought contest than anticipated against Saudi Arabia, which they ended up only winning 3-2, as well as overcoming Italy 3-1, who themselves had impressively ended Norway's run 3-0 the round prior. In fact, Italy would round out what was a very impressive EuroCup showing for them, with a victory against Germany 3-1 in the third place match, to conclude what had been a promising event for both teams. But all eyes were on the final between Team Iceland and Denmark to see who would be crowned champions. What happened next was honestly very surprising, but the writing seemed to be on the walls after looking over the past few matches. Quite simply, Iceland dominated the contest, despite the vast amount of talent from the Overwatch League and contenders on the side of Denmark. Map 1 on Oasis was quite close, with both rounds seeing point flips between each side. When it came down to the all-important team fights for the win, it was the Icelandic team that got more impact after their ultimates, and generally looked a lot more coordinated with one another, in contrast to the Danes, who perhaps were trying a little too hard individually to make the big plays. This was emphasised on Route 66, which was clearly the most one-sided map, with Denmark's attack being picked apart, as they failed to reach the first checkpoint, whilst Iceland utilised a very well-timed Holt-Farah rocket combo to quickly get their own attack rolling and reach their needed distance with ease to take a very quick 2-0 lead in the series. Map 3 on Horizon Lunar Colony was a perfect ending to this series, with both sides defensively playing at their absolute best, with everything now on the line. Both Denmark and Iceland succeeded in completing the map on their first 2 attacks, with their DPS players Hafiko and Sindri, as well as Shax and Fisher, taking the fight to one another aggressively. With only about a minute of timebacks remaining, Iceland mounted further pressure by impressively completing the map for a 3rd time to take them to 6 points. The Danes were not out of it yet, however, and managed to battle through the first point to take us to a final overtime fight on point B, with the scores at 6-5. At first, it looked like Denmark had the upper hand, picking up a few kills and taking the percentage all the way up to 90%. But Iceland, knowing victory was in their grasp, collected themselves and re-engaged for one last contest, and it was an unlikely hero within all the chaos who turned the fight around. Futhark came out on Lucio and came up with 2 massive kills as bodies were bashed around the point. This would prove to be so important, combined with the defensive spawn advantage, as Denmark simply couldn't handle this mounting pressure and eventually capitulated, giving Iceland the map and a very impressive 3-0 win over the pre-tournament favourites, which saw them crowned EuroCup champions. But with this first place finish at the EuroCup, what's next for Team Iceland? At least in my opinion, they've shown themselves to be a very talented side, but has now become one of the favourites to go on and qualify for the official World Cup groups at BlizzCon. Their difficult run through the playoff elimination bracket, the EuroCup, has shown Iceland's ability to dig deep and battle through against really tough opponents, some of which were clear favourites to make BlizzCon groups, and come up clutch when it mattered most. I'm certain the EuroCup has been a fantastic experience and learning opportunity for the more inexperienced players. The coordination and performances from the veteran players, and Hafiko from Team Envy and Contenders, as well as Finzi from the Overwatch League's Paris Eternal, highlights that this previously underrated team, by myself and many others, is now most definitely on the rise. It could be a sneaky dark horse, not only qualify for BlizzCon, but potentially cause some of the higher rated seeded nations, like Team UK or Team France, some trouble and serious issues moving forward should they face off. As a quick final note on the EuroCup itself, I personally think the event has been a great success, with over $1,150 raised, and a great level of support and enthusiasm from the community, which I'm sure has meant a lot to all the teams involved, those are the people working behind the scenes at Monkey Bubble to make it all happen. And ultimately, it's provided an exciting and entertaining preview of what we can expect at the World Cup, which is only a short distance on the horizon. And with that, we reach the end of my review of the Overwatch EuroCup Fundraiser playoffs, and I'd thank you for watching. I'll be back soon with my review and discussion of the first week of Overwatch League playoffs, so if you enjoyed and don't want to miss out, please like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter. There's continuing competitive Overwatch coverage and content. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.